Use the cost of production tool to calculate and compare how much it costs to produce the commodities grown by assigning actual expenses to them. To access the cost of production tool, select Management, Operational Benchmarking. Select Cost of Production from the menu on the left. To use cost of production, you must set up and maintain the commodities that you produce. To enter commodities, click Edit List. From this dialog box, you can add, edit, delete, or merge commodities. To add a commodity, click Add. Enter the commodity's name, or select it from the drop-down list. Enter a unit label, or select it from the drop-down list. Click Save. If you want to reduce your available commodities, you can either delete the commodity or merge two commodities together, which will preserve their allocated expenses and production transactions. To merge two commodities, select a commodity to merge. Click Merge. Click Yes. Select the commodity you want to merge it with. Click OK. The original commodity is deleted, and any commodity splits on the cost of production report are added to this new commodity. Click Close. Once you have set up your commodity information, you need to allocate previously entered expense transactions to these commodities. Click Allocate Commodities. The Allocate Commodities dialog box has two tabs, Expenses and Production. The Expenses tab displays expense transactions. You can allocate the transactions to commodities to determine the actual amount it costs to produce a commodity. Three colors are used to show the status of each transaction. White shaded transactions have been fully allocated to the commodities. Blue shaded transactions have been partially allocated to commodities. And red shaded transactions have not been allocated to commodities. To allocate an expense transaction, select the transaction from the list provided. You can select multiple transactions by holding down the Control or Shift key and clicking the transactions with your mouse. If you want more information about the transaction, click View Transaction. To allocate the full amount of the selected transaction to commodities, select the production period for the transaction and allocate the transaction amount to commodities by entering either the percentage or the amount. If multiple transactions have been selected, you can only enter a percentage. If you need to add a commodity, you can click Edit List at any time. Click the Split Evenly button to automatically allocate the transaction amount evenly amongst all commodities. The Update Selected button is only available if multiple transactions have been selected. Click this button to update the selected transactions with the current commodity allocations. The Production tab displays all inventory adjustment production transactions. Allocate each of the transactions to a commodity to determine how much was produced. The sum of the quantity amounts from the allocated transactions will transfer to the quantity field in the cost of production report. To allocate a production transaction to a commodity, select Transaction. Select a commodity from the drop-down list. If you don't want to allocate a transaction to a commodity, leave it as unallocated. Click OK when you are finished. You can use the commodity drop-down list to view the different commodity reports. Enter the quantity of the commodity produced. This field is populated if you allocated production transactions on the Allocate Commodities dialog box, but it can be changed or updated if necessary. You can click the Assign Expense Accounts link to select the category that should be associated with your expense accounts. Once configured, the report gives you a cost per unit of production. Click Generate to view a printable report. Click Save to save your current report options, or click Cancel to close the operational benchmarking window without saving. After you record an expense or production transaction through the Transaction Entry, General Journal, Point of Sale, or Inventory Adjustment window, the Allocate Commodities dialog box opens automatically, allowing you to allocate the expense or production if you so choose. If you don't want to see this dialog box, remove the checkmark at the bottom of the screen.